I was recently recommended a video explaining Mario 64's Iceberg, and I thought it was a very interesting and well-made video, and it definitely had me thinking about it for the following days. And after receiving a DM from PS4 Star giving me the idea to make a video on Battle for Bikini Bottom's own Iceberg, I jumped at the opportunity. Today we are going to be going over BFBB's own mysterious iceberg. Enjoy. The Invisible Boatmobile. In Murmulair, there's a funny little Easter egg in the entry room. After encountering your first ARF robot, SpongeBob can interact with the Invisible Boatmobile, and hitting the button underneath causes it to appear. Standing on the circular platforms in Industrial Park. As many of you are aware of, Robot Patrick is often cited as being the hardest boss fight in the game. I remember Pac-Man World 2 also had the hardest boss fight take place right in the middle. Anyways, there's an easy way to cheese one of his attacks. By standing on these here circular platforms when Robot Patrick does his spinning attack, neither SpongeBob or Sandy can get hit by the goo. I took full advantage of this when I was playing as a kid and even when I was speedrunning. Don't ask questions you aren't prepared to handle the answer to. This is just a strange thing that the devs decided to include. Mrs. Pup does this shaky thing whenever she talks, and the camera does this hilarious zoom in. It's a great time. Rehydrated actually took it out though, and I don't know why they did that. Cheats. Like many other games from the early 2000s, Battle for Bikini Bottom has cheats that you can use. Give yourself 10 spatulas, give yourself 1,000 shiny objects, you can even make SpongeBob lose his pants. Charming. Murmulair Ledge Grab. This is a speedrunning tactic that anyone can perform. In the first room of Murmulair, where the invisible boatmobile is found, SpongeBob can time a double jump to ledge grab and skip nearly all the walking to the top. I think Rehydrated did leave this in. It's pretty cool of them. Swing stalling. Swing stalling is a technique used by Sandy by grabbing a swinger, then timing a double jump, followed by a re-grab. Sandy can gain height and stall herself on the swingers. This is most useful in the Robot Patrick fight. You can dodge nearly all his attacks and constantly drop boxes. Oh, my package delivered. Nice. Dutchman Platform Sock. The Flying Dutchman's Graveyard is known for having the least amount of socks in the whole game. The Platform Sock, while it's the first you can view, is actually the last you're supposed to get. After defeating the Flying Dutchman, Sandy has to use her lasso to swing over and get the sock. 100% cutscene. If the player has at least 100 spatulas after defeating Robot SpongeBob, they can watch a special cutscene right after the fight. I never actually saw this as a kid, but I have seen it countless times because of the speedrunning. Hand disable. I do recommend watching my first ever Glitches and Oddities video for a more in-depth look on hand disabling, but basically, if you travel to another level while the hand tries to grab you for being out of bounds, you can disable him, and essentially go wherever you want and explore the outskirts of any level you'd like. Bungee Spatula Exploits. Paired with Hans being disabled, SpongeBob can grab bungee spatulas without paying clams and skip certain areas of the game. Obtaining this one in Jellyfish Fields can allow the player to warp all the way up to Gary, and collecting this one in the Flying Dutchman's Graveyard can grant you with skipping all of the Sandy Swingers. Heavy Iron Picture. Not much to say here. Heavy Iron simply added a few Easter eggs in this rock bottom museum. One in particular shows the outside of their building, although this isn't the first time Heavy Iron can be seen throughout the game. Under the pier as SpongeBob. Normally Patrick needs to throw these Freezy Fruit in order to collect the spatula under the pier, but using a well-timed jump on the slide, Patrick or SpongeBob can reach the bottom of the pier and collect the spatula this way. Flag Climb. Goo Lagoon Pier also houses these flags, which for some reason are solid in this game. Using these flags, the player can reach the top of the life preservers, and followed by a bash and a tight jump, can reach the bungee to get to the spatula. Funnily enough, you can't use a bungee spatula exploit for the spatula in particular. Beta trailer. Like many other games, Battle for Bikini Bottom had a trailer released with beta properties. A lot of things were changed in the time span of when this was released and when the actual game came out. Their tikis are different, Kelp Forest is a lot brighter, the Robot SpongeBob fight is completely different, there's even robots in SpongeBob's house. It was completely different. Beta Pat's Dream. Patrick's Dream also had a lot of changes. The beta level is an ice cream stage, completely different from what we got in the final project. The change was probably for the better, and was actually the inspiration for some of the areas in Rehydrated multiplayer, but we all know how that turned out. It's absolute garbage. SpongeBall storage. SpongeBall storage allows the player to postpone the SpongeBall transformation once the pickup is acquired. The SpongeBall transformation can only happen while grounded, and it naturally takes priority over the walking animation. However, it does not have priority over the landing animation when using neutral stick. By jumping into the pickup and neutral sticking upon each, there's a window where SpongeBob may jump again without SpongeBall initiation. The landing animation of a double jump is longer than a single jump, making the window to jump larger. Unused voice lines. Similar to the cut content, the game also featured some unused voice lines, some of which even made it into Rehydrated. Sponge Glide. A sponge glide is the result of an interrupted bubble bounce, or ground pound, animation while sliding across collision. Bubble bounces normally have a fixed downward speed, but if interrupted at the correct frame, vertical speed can be set to 0 instead, leaving SpongeBob floating, or even positive values, causing SpongeBob to ascend. Sponge glides generally require momentum from either a damage boost or a cruise boost, but stationary sponge glides can also have it in places with tight collision, which can trap SpongeBob. Cruise boosting. Cruise boosting is the main speedrun exploit of this game, which stores the wind-up momentum of the bubble bowl and makes it so SpongeBob is always being pushed forward. Glove World. Like the other cut content in this game, Glove World was considered but ultimately dropped. There isn't much in terms of levels or files for this one. It's just kind of an idea that was considered. L clipping. With the cruise boost active, mashing the L trigger against certain walls allows SpongeBob to clip through. This is used for prawn skip and was also used to find the first method of ballroom clipping. Hans bowl boosting. After getting grabbed by Hans for going out of bounds, the frame you spawn back in, you can perform a frame perfect bubble bowl and go flying. Sea Needle Massacre. The fish inside the sea needle move around randomly. Waiting long enough causes some of them to walk off completely and fall to their doom. Sponge Museum. While casually SpongeBob is used to complete the museum, he can also be used in speedruns to complete the entire thing in under a minute. SBA. Also known as Ski Ball Abuse, SBA is an exploit that allows you to get unlimited shinies in a quick amount of time without the use of cheat codes. While controversial back in the day, everyone has come to accept this and ultimately love the trick. Crab duping. Without talking to crabs in the first area, the player can eventually finish the robot Sandy spatula. With a certain amount of shiny objects, can finesse Mr. Krabs out of more than 8 of his spatulas. This is used in the NG Plus category. Bowl displacement bowl boosting. This is when you bowl and get boosted really far when displaced, I'm pretty sure. Yeah, that definitely sounds like I know what I'm talking about. L bowling. Another trick that has the letter L in it, L bowling is used today as the fastest way to clip into the rolling ball cage. VMS. Vertical momentum storage is often used in sponge-only runs, and it's where you store your vertical momentum while inside the sponge ball, and after multiple buffered frame perfect inputs, can send you flying. I recommend checking out my sponge-only video if you haven't seen that already, though, to learn a little more on that. LCB. Ledge cruise boosting is a method of obtaining a faster cruise boost by activating the second part while dropping to a lower area, often used in Flounder Hill. Lag clips. Lag clipping, while not doable on the GameCube, is a major exploit used on Xbox and PS2. With the use of lag clipping, the player can clip through any floor they want to. By storing downward momentum while having a cruise boost active, mashing start and select extremely fast will actually cause SpongeBob to clip through the floor, mostly used to get the Drain the Lake spatula and the spatula in the cage in Dutchman's Graveyard. Sponge only. Beating the game with only SpongeBob is a challenge that people can do to give Battle for Bikini Bottom a bit more in terms of what you can and can't do. Recently, speedrunners have taken it upon themselves to find ways to access previously unreachable areas of the Mermalair, making the challenge a lot more lenient. ICB. Instant cruise boosting is a task-only trick that allows SpongeBob to get full cruise boost speeds with only one set of inputs, rather than two. It requires both perfect positioning and frame-perfect timing to capture speed. In addition to saving time on setup compared to a regular non-task cruise boost, ICBs can also be stacked on top of each other in tasks to gain more and more speed each